The Enchanted Forest. The forest stood quiet beneath the silver light of dusk. A silence seemed to rest upon the world, soft as a blanket, yet alive with hidden voices. The trees rose tall and endless, their trunks dark with age, their branches sweeping together high above, like the vaulted roof of a great hall. Between those branches, the sky spilled down in threads of pale light, like silver mist drifting through the air. Everything in the forest seemed older than time. The roots that wound across the earth were thick and knotted, pressing out of the ground like sleeping giants. Moss clung to them in soft carpets of green. Ferns curled gently at their sides. Even the stones, half buried and damp with dew. The Enchanted Forest. The Enchanted Forest. The forest stood quiet beneath the silver light of dusk. A silence seemed to rest upon the world, soft as a blanket, yet alive with hidden voices. The trees rose tall and endless, their trunks dark with age, their branches sweeping together high above, like the vaulted roof of a great hall. Between those branches, the sky spilled down in threads of pale light, like silver mist drifting through the air. Everything in the forest seemed older than time. The roots that wound across the earth were thick and knotted, pressing out of the ground like sleeping giants. Moss clung to them in soft carpets of green. Ferns curled gently at their sides. Even the stones, half buried and damp with dew, seemed to hold a memory of rain, of wind, of all seasons that had passed across this place. This was no ordinary forest. It was the Enchanted Wood, a place where the unseen lingered, and where every step might lead into a secret world. At the bases of the oldest oaks, where the roots tangled into caves of soil and shadow, little doors could be found. Round doors, painted in colours softened by time. Some bright blue, some green like ivy. Others plain wood, polished smooth by careful hands. These were the homes of the gnomes, hidden beneath the trees, tucked close to the earth, warm and safe. Inside, their fireplaces glowed with firelight, sending threads of smoke curling into the air. The smoke smelled of pine and herbs, of rosemary, of sage, of cedar wood gathered from fallen branches. If you listened closely as you walked along the mossy paths, you might hear the low hum of their songs. Gnomes always hummed when they worked. Their voices were steady, deep, like the steady thrum of the forest itself. They carried baskets filled with mushrooms, gathered in the damp shade of logs. They carried flowers, their petals bright against the dark green of the forest. They polished the stones that lined their little paths until they shone faintly in the twilight. Their eyes gleamed like amber, warm and watchful, as though they had seen far more than they ever said. If you lingered near, they might nod to you, kind and quiet, before slipping back through their round doors into the safety of their homes. Deeper in the forest, where the ivy hung like curtains and the air grew cool with shadow, another people walked, the elves. They were taller than the gnomes, graceful and silent, their steps so light they seemed to float upon the leaves. Their clothes shimmered with the colours of dawn and dusk, silvers, pale blues, soft greens, like the reflection of a still pond. When they moved, it was with the calm of flowing water, steady, smooth, unbroken. Their voices, when they spoke, carried like streams running over polished stones, gentle and musical, endlessly patient. They guarded the forest's secret ways. They stood watch near hidden pools, where the water lay still and black, reflecting stars that had not yet risen. They listened to the breath of the wind as though it spoke to them in words only they could understand. Sometimes they sang songs that lingered just at the edge of hearing, songs that went through the branches like threads of silver. If you followed the sound, you might find yourself at a clearing where moonlight poured down like water. The elves standing in quiet circles, their faces lifted, their voices blending into the rhythm of the earth. And then there were the fairies. They were the smallest of the three, and the most fleeting. Like sparks from a fire, they drifted and flickered, here for a moment, gone the next. Their wings caught in starlight, scattering it into colours that shifted and glimmered with every movement. They hovered among blossoms, drinking dew from petals. They painted the flowers with colours deeper and brighter than they had been before. They traced patterns across the bark of trees, patterns that glowed faintly in the dark, like runes of light. Their laughter was soft, like a sigh of wind across a reed. It came quickly and faded even faster, so faint you might wonder if you had only imagined it. Yet their presence was undeniable. Sometimes they gathered in rings, circling and circling until the ground itself seemed to shimmer with their dance. Rings of light would appear, glowing faintly in the moss, vanishing by morning, leaving only a circle of flowers where none had been before. The woods were never still. Though they seemed silent, they breathed with life. Every tree carried a memory in its bark. Every branch moved as if stirred by unseen hands. The air itself carried a taste of pine and honey, sweet and sharp together. Somewhere in the distance, an owl would call, its voice low and deep, echoing through the stillness like a drumbeat. If you paused in that silence, you could feel the forest itself, a heartbeat deep in the ground, a rhythm in the roots and the stones, steady, patient, as old as the stars. And so the forest lived on. The gnomes hummed at their work, voices like soft thunder in the roots. The elves sang their endless songs, guarding the still pools, keeping the balance of the trees. The fairies danced like sparks in the shadows, filling the dark with laughter and light. Together they wove the forest's spirit. Together they kept its magic alive. And if you walked there, as the twilight deepened, you might feel it too. The sense of eyes upon you, not threatening, but kind. The sense of being